What's up, good people? What's up, good people? It's your boy, Dr. Leroy McKenzie Jr., the Impact Builder. Y'all know what we doing. Yeah, I'm outside today. It is absolutely It is a beautiful day outside. So, finally getting back into walking outside. I walked you outside yesterday, but it was after I did the video. So, hopefully the weather's breaking and we will be back outside again, getting some of that vitamin D, we're getting some fresh air, getting some exercise in, because y'all know we got to be healthy mentally, but we've got to be healthy physically, and we got to be healthy spiritually. So I'm doing my walk. Y'all know what we're doing this week. We're talking about the 5 steps to entrepreneurship and leadership success. Yesterday we talked about knowing your value, understanding your worth, and having a value system. Today we're going to be talking about success cost, y'all. Y'all can see, actually I'm right behind, if y'all can see the trees behind me. The trees are starting to bud, y'all. The trees are starting to bud. So it's really a beautiful day out this morning. But success cost. And 55 years ago to this day, Dr. King stepped out onto a balcony and was assassinated. And it was the culmination of a journey that he didn't necessarily ask for, but he was willing to pay the cost for. And we are the benefactors of him paying that cost and being willing to pay that cost. For those of you that have seen the movie Selma, there's a scene in the movie where Dr. King is having a conversation with I think one of his assistants, or one of the gentlemen that was with him with the civil rights movement. And the gentleman was telling him, Dr. King, this is way too much. This is, you need to kind of step back, all of those things. And Dr. King, I can't quote it verbatim, but he said no. He said, I've got to do this. This is big. He said, this is bigger than me. And we have to understand, those that, to me, hopefully those that are successful, those that have obtained a certain level of success, have to understand, one, that success isn't about you, but then two, success is bigger than you. And success is going to cost you. It's going to cost you, and I think of those who are willing to pay the cost, are willing to sacrifice. They're willing to sacrifice, family. They're willing to sacrifice their time. They're willing to sacrifice their lifestyle. Dr. King didn't live an elaborate lifestyle, wasn't living in a big house and all of those things, even though you're talking about the 50s and 60s. But he never lived lavishly. His thing was about the struggle. His mindset was about, his success was about getting us to what he called the promised land. And even the day before he was assassinated, he went to, I forgot the name of the church, and he wasn't even going to, from the story and what I've seen, he wasn't even going to, from what I guess the story's been told, he wasn't even going to preach that night. He was back in the hotel. Resting, because they were down in Montgomery, Alabama, or no, I'm sorry, not Montgomery, Alabama. But it was with the wherever that the hotel, where the hotel is. I want to say Memphis for some reason. Yeah, Memphis Hotel. It was in Memphis, because they were getting ready, or they had already finished marching, doing the bus, sanitation workers. He'd been with the sanitation workers, so he was in Memphis, I believe, to do another speak. He was going to be speaking again, but he was at the hotel, and I don't, from what they were saying, he wasn't planning on speaking that night. But when when those that were assisting him got to the church, including Reverend Jesse Jackson Sr., there was a crowd of people, a bunch of people. They were there, and they said that Jesse Jackson called Dr. King up and said, "You got to come." He said, "The people are here to see you." And Dr. King, in his service to us, put on his clothes, got dressed, hopped in the car, went over to the church, and gave one of his most, to me, one of his most powerful speeches. And to me, it's far better than the one that we hear about all the time in the month of February, during Black History Month. I Have a Dream. Yes, it's a great speech. I Have a Dream is a great speech, but Dr. King was more than just a dream. The Dr. King, the night before he was assassinated, in that speech where he talks about not getting to the mountaintop that with us, he had said he had been there, but he said he might not get there with us. That's what his success was. And it cost him his life. He was willing to pay the cost of getting us to our success, which was the mountaintop, which was getting equal rights for all of us. So today, and I've been thinking about that, and I think I saw a post, and I was like, yeah, it cost, the cost of success. It costs to succeed. And there are many of us in this day and time that have so much more because of what Dr. King did, what Dr. King was willing to pay for us, and so many others. It wasn't just Dr. King, it was so many others that paid that cost. So entrepreneurs, leaders, this week, what cost are you willing to pay to succeed? I was listening to just some great motivational YouTube by Eric Thomas, and then the morning prayer with Pastor Jamal Bryant, and and each of them, both of them, talked about this thing that we want called success, and what we have to be willing to do and sacrifice in order to be able to achieve it. And so many of us aren't willing to pay the cost. Success costs, y'all. Success costs. So what I want you to do today is to ask yourself, are you willing to pay that cost? Are you willing to do what needs to be done to take your business, your brand to where you want it to be, but also those as leaders? Because entrepreneurs, you're leaders. But are you willing to sacrifice for those that you're leading, for those that are following you, for those that are working with you? What cost are you willing to pay to succeed? That's the question for today. Are you willing to work for it? Are you willing to put in the hours that it's going to cost you? Are you willing to do what everybody else isn't willing to do? Because that's what entrepreneurs do. That's what leaders do. We're willing to do what everybody else isn't willing to do. We see things that everybody else doesn't see in a different way, and are willing to put in place those action steps in order to be able to get there. Success costs, y'all. That's my word for today. Success costs. Success costs, and we have to be willing. Those that will succeed have to be willing to pay that cost. So as you go about your day to day and everything that you do today, think about what it's going to cost you. When you send those emails, or you're thinking about, oh, I don't feel like sending the emails. I don't feel like making that phone call. I don't feel like, working on this project today. Ask you what's it going to cost you if you don't. And then ask yourself what's it going to cost you if you do. Are the rewards greater than what it's going to cost you? Yes, it cost Dr. King his life, and that's a tragic thing. I wish he was still here today, so that he could see some of the advances that we've made. But we've got a long way to go. But those of us that are here now, who he's passed the torch on to, who he's passed that mantle on to, we've got to be willing to sacrifice and pay the cost to succeed as well. He succeeded in his time frame to do what his assignment was, and we've got to be willing to pay the cost to succeed in the time frame that we've been allotted to be able to get us to where it is that we want to be, and to get you and your business and your brand to where it is that you want to be. Your industry doesn't get better. Your business doesn't get better if you aren't willing to pay the cost to succeed. But we've got to be all in. We've got to be all in. We've got to be determined to succeed in everything that we do in order to be able to move us forward. So I'm want you to take time this week. Think about it this week. What are you doing this week? What are you willing to do this week? Whether it's health-wise, making sure that you're in shape, getting out, walking. You said you wanted to walk a certain number of miles every day. What's it going to cost you? What does that success look like? You got to be willing to pay it. Mentally, what are you willing to do? You said you wanted to read 35 books this year, 40 books, 45 books this year. What's it going to cost you? Cost you watching TV, listening to the radio. Are you willing to pay that cost? You said you wanted to get that particular degree. You said you wanted to get that certification. You said you wanted to get that skill set, that new skill set. Success costs. It's going to cost you. But the only question is are you willing to pay the cost? That's what we're talking about today, y'all. This is 5 steps to entrepreneurship, leadership, success. Success costs. I want you to say that all day today. I want you to put that in the comments. Success costs. Let's go get it. Let's be willing to put the work in today. It's your boy, Dr. Leroy McKenzie Jr., the Impact Builder. We'll talk to y'all tomorrow. Have a super awesome day. Get outside. Get some of that fresh air. Get some of that vitamin D. We'll talk to y'all tomorrow. Have a great day.